All right.
See if we got audio on, see.
Thank you. You want me to turn the mic on? You want?
Can you hear me online?
She can hear you, but I don't know if it's when we go live, if it turns on. They said Monday. She heard you. Aaron unmuted, so.
Okay. All right, let's get started. You want to do roll call, or you've already?
I already took a roll call, so
Okay.
we're fine with that.
All right, do I have a motion to approve minutes from last meeting, February meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And, all right. Public comment. Do we have any public comment? Yes, up to the mic, please. Please state your name and address.
Will do. Thank you. My name is Gary Konachik. I've resided in the city of Erie my whole life, but I'm really here in connection, and if you could pass those out, please, or just distribute them, with a cottage I own at 2 Fort Cliff Beach. So after last week's meeting, somebody sent me the video, and what I learned is that the rescission of blight was recommended and approved. And this property is a blighted property. It remains a blighted property. It's been a blighted property for the last 5 years, physically. Nothing's been done for 4 years. The wood was removed about 3 or 4 years ago. But the concrete, and as you'll see in the pics, rusted bolts, rusted old stairs, the concrete base to the old building, which pools stagnant water in the summer. From the city's perspective, I wish the solicitor was here. It's a high-risk situation. Somebody's going to be hurt. Not going to be me or my kids. My kids are adults. But children, in this lot are going to get hurt. And when the attorney corrals everybody, the city's going to be part of that. So not only do I send you some pics to look at, please take a look. You will absolutely positively agree with the statements that I'm making, that this is a physically blighted property. I've demoed buildings, 7 of them if I could think. And I still remember getting a call from Mike Lavery, who's doing his job, and says, Gary, when's this property going to be done? When is my vendor going to be responsible? And if he doesn't show up, you got to do it. You got to remove all the concrete. You can't throw any wood in the hole. We want it leveled. We want it seeded, and we want the stray. And so that's the standard I was held to, as I should have been, and everybody else. This property has not been held to that standard. Nothing's been done for 4 or 5 years. It's a physically blighted property and should remain that. The concrete's there, the blocks are there, rusted steps, pipes. Take a look at the pics that I'm passing around. They're little, and I did them the day after the meeting when I learned that the rescission of blight was approved. But there is an opportunity here. So despite the fact that I'm before all of you saying this should be blighted and is a physically blighted property, this property, when and if the city does its job, which it normally does, Aaron and Mike and company, and you have some funds, you'll get your money out of this one, because it has value. It's not a property that's worth $100 or something like that. That's all I have to say. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Oh, thank you, Gary.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
My name is Donald Crenshaw, and I reside in the city of Erie. And I'm here today with mixed feelings. I want to say thank you to Aaron and Mr. Miller, Dennis, that we had a halfway decent conversation I had with these people the other day, and as well as others that are sitting here at the table. I talked to a few people yesterday, and talked about some positive things. Talked to Mr. Knox, just a lot of good things. And I'm here today to say that I'm hoping we can keep moving forward in that positive manner, as in addressing properties throughout the city. I have about a half a dozen people that continue to call me about the blighted properties and what can we do to get our properties off the blight list. And Andy, I want to thank you again personally for communicating with me yesterday, and Aaron, about methods and understanding a little better the procedures. And one of the things that I understand a little better now after talking to yourself, Aaron, yesterday, and Andy about what properties, fundings that the Redevelopment Authority, which Aaron is part of, can be addressed and used to renovate and fix up houses. Monday, the Redevelopment Authority had a meeting here where 6 different developers came out and presented their developments to access funding to take properties that may have been on the blight list, may just be vacant, but in addressing those properties, we had everybody there with their applications. From what I understand from yesterday's meeting, if you're an owner of a piece of property and it enters into the blight, this group here, that you can't use the dollars that the Redevelopment Authority has to renovate it. If you're a nonprofit, and you go out and you acquire blighted properties and you fix them up, you can make requests, if I understood it properly, of funding that is there, which is great. But I ask that you as a body work with your other body, which the director sits here, Aaron, that maybe you look at how individuals that are losing their properties, that have invested, that's in the blight condition, that those properties can be removed, as the property was just talked about before me. It may not be in perfect shape, but it was taken off the blight list. If you can work with homeowners and individuals throughout this city that have property that enter here and they've invested dollars and they want to save their properties, why don't we just step right next door to a funding source, which is Redevelopment Authority, and say, okay, let's create something that these people who are homeowners, they own the homes, or they may have inherited it from their families, their landlords, but let's look at how we can take the dollars that the city has now. I think it was about 16 million or so that the redevelopment for different things have, but I understand they're in certain categories. Let's look at how we can reach out to those individuals and keep those properties from being demolished, or keep those properties from the existing homeowners losing them, keep that property on a tax basis. And then there's a new mechanism I understand that you guys are using. Instead of having to condemn certain properties, you're going to the taxing body. 2 years behind in taxes, water bills, sewer bills, I get it. You can take it, you can work that out so you don't spend the money that you'd be spending otherwise to acquire these properties. So I would just ask that the body as a whole look at those kind of things. And then I would also ask that going forward, Aaron, as you and I met yesterday and talked, I really appreciate it, and that was great. But I would ask that, as you stated, certain things can't be talked about when attorneys are involved, and you and I as individuals trying to resolve things, we can, but I don't think it looks good when both of our attorneys and you have lunch together and I'm not there. I can't say who has lunch and who doesn't, but when you meet with your attorney there and my attorney, it just doesn't look good. I'm not saying I think positive things happen from it, but it just doesn't look good, because as you represent the Redevelopment Authority, this board, and if you're meeting and having lunch, that's great, but having lunch with my counsel, I don't know what was said because I wasn't there. I don't know if anything was done that I might have approved of or not approved of, but I don't think it's a good thing when you and your counsel meets with my counsel and I'm not present. So I would just like to put that on the record, that my goal is still always to create home ownership, to give opportunities, and with yourself, especially Aaron, and the boards that you sit on, I think you can make a major impact.
Don, you're not allowed to direct individuals of the committee directly. You're supposed to direct.
Well,
the
okay, let me
committee
say
as a
this.
whole.
As the committee, those that sit on multiple boards, you can really influence the positive things that can happen here if you come together and make it happen. So I just would like to say, as the board of a whole, and I can't, I guess, address anybody individually, but you that sit on approving boards of permits and licensing that I can't directly address, as we come together, which we did, I think we can make a difference. And I'm here again to make sure that we try to come to a reasonable solution that's not costing the city any more money, it's not costing me any more money, and the beneficiary is our citizens of the city because they get decent, affordable housing. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Don.
Hello.
Kathy?
I was driving around because I had received an email yesterday, and there's a house on 9th and Wallace on the southwest corner. I didn't catch the address, but it appears it has had a fire at one time, and I don't know how soon the fire was, or, you know. But when there's an incident like that, do the people rehabilitate pretty much after the fire, or is it torn down?
Both.
It takes a long time.
Both. It can be both. It depends if they have insurance. If they don't, then we would look at demo.
Okay, thank you.
And I believe that property's blighted.
I don't know the address.
Yeah, 9th and, yeah.
I'll look into it.
It did look nasty.
Insurance claims can take a while to settle. That's one of our hangups. I'll look into it either way.
Okay, any further public comment? Any more public comment? None heard? Secretary's report.
All right. Currently, we have 269 properties identified on the blighted property list, 50 of which are under some level of intervention by the Erie Land Bank or the Redevelopment Authority. That doesn't include properties in which are somewhere else in that process but have yet to have declaration of taken filed on the property. So I don't have a total of those, but like I said, 269 on the list, 50 of those are under some level of intervention by the Redevelopment Authority or Land Bank. That's my report.
Thank you, Aaron. Have we received any correspondence?
We did receive correspondence directed at the blight rescind last month of 1 Ferncliff Beach. I was directed in that correspondence to hand it off to the city solicitor's office, which I did, and that is the only correspondence we received.
All right, thank you. Old business. We have rescission of blight for 442 East 8th Street. It was a private rehab, Mike.
This one was blighted because it was abandoned and filled with junk and debris. The rehab was primarily cosmetic. We walked through this with the property owner. All debris has been removed. There's been new gutters put on. It's been repainted on the inside. There aren't any permits on file, but nothing was done that required a permit. So it was just cosmetic stuff, painting, flooring, stuff like that.
Motion to blight, or motion to rescind, Aaron.
Second?
Second.
Dave? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Who seconded that? I apologize. Okay, thanks, Dave.
Under new business, election of officers.
That is a mistake on my part. I failed to remove that from the February agenda that I utilized to make this one. So that is not necessary. We did that last month.
All right. Properties for declaration of blight. Michael?
Okay, we have first up 238 East 9th Street. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm in February's notes.
It's February. We want to go back to February.
I apologize. Here's March. First up, we have 2914 Cascade Street. This owner is deceased. They passed away last May of '23. It was brought to our attention by the county health department due to infestation of rodents, it being open, and it's right across the street from a school. We have not had any response from a next of kin or any responsible parties yet. It is vacant. It is open. We did go and secure it the best we could. The taxes are current, but the water's been off since this February 13th. There's over $900 in water, sewer, and garbage bills owed. The water department suspect a leak. There was a pipe burst inside of it that may have caused damage. That's part of the reason they shut the water off, also due to non-payment. The electric is off to both units. This is a 2-unit. We have notices out going back to April of last year, February of this year, and March of this year. We have a repair demo also issued in March of this year. The current owner that is deceased has owned it since 1999, and from the sounds of it, it was in bad shape before he passed away, and now he's passed away, and there's really no one to hold responsible that we've been able to find.
Thank you, Mike. Do I have a motion to declare blighted?
So moved.
Rich? Celine? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next up, what I'm presenting are 2 lots. They're the same owner. It's 1012 and 1014 West 19th Street. This is a pretty big property. I tried my best to get pictures to tell the story, but it was hard to get everything in here. It's a commercial lot. One's a vacant abandoned lot, which is 1012, which has junk, debris, and cars on it. And the other is what looks like an old warehouse or factory that had a fire on the exterior of it and the back of it. That was never repaired. The electric was cut. The meter was pulled, and the electric was cut at the pole, I believe, due to the fire. Same owner owns both lots dating back to November of 2014. We have notices in a case history dating back to August of 22. There's notices sent in August of 22, December of 22. They were cited last February, and the results were outstanding. We never got a plea to that citation. There's notices sent in March of this month, as well as a repair demo order posted this month. The water and sewer and garbage are off. They've been off. The water's been off since 2017. There are back taxes owed on both properties from 22 to 24, over $8,000. The electric is off and disconnected, and it is vacant and abandoned. The neighbors are reporting people sneaking in and out of it through the back of it. But when I went there, it appeared secure. But we haven't gotten any response from the owner on both parcels.
So this is 1014, which encompasses, this is the warehouse where the fire had occurred and is currently boarded, partially opened. This is another garage, storage lot, and then this parcel right here is the lot that contains the multiple cars and tires. So, and there's an alleyway that runs back across and services these businesses back here as well.
So which parts are being?
So it's this, so this 1014 is this large parcel that goes along the alleyway between 18th and 19th, down the T alley and across, and then there is a parcel, I don't believe it goes all the way to the corner, does it, Mike?
No, it's a little rectangle. You can kind of tell where the tree growth and shrubs are overgrown. Where it ends there, on the right side of that picture, is the end of that parcel line,
Like
roughly.
right here?
Yeah. There's a camper there that's abandoned too, and there's an extension cord running from the building to the camper, but when I was there, I didn't see anybody in the camper.
Do we know if there was an environmental study done on this?
I do not know.
Warehouse?
I'm not sure. I can find that out.
It was going to be exposed at the upset sale, but the owner reached out to the Tax Claim Bureau week prior and arranged payments to remove it from exposure. So But they, as according to the Tax Land Bureau, they haven't made a successful payment yet that they're aware of.
Okay, do I have a motion to blight 1012 and 1014 West Ninth?
19.
I'll move to blight.
Do I have a second?
Second, Aaron.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Okay. Next, we have 538, 540 East 8th Street. This is a 2-unit. It was a rental at one time, but now it is vacant and abandoned. Excuse me. The current owners have had it since February of 2012. It was a tax claim deed. It's a 2-family dwelling. There are back taxes owed from 22 to 24, over $1,700. The water has been off since September of 2019, and there are water, sewer, and garbage bills owed over $800. The electric is also off to both units. This case history dates back to 2017, when it was occupied. We have notices sent in of March of 17, March of 18, another notice sent in March of 18, May of 21, November of 21, and March of 23. There's also a repair demo notice currently posted on the property. It's vacant, abandoned, and because it's up against an alley in the back, we think people are pulling up and dumping there, and no one's doing anything about it or taking responsibility for the property.
I'm sorry, what was the address?
538-540 East 8th, it's a 2-unit. One of the neighbors stated that there are 2 people on the deed, and one of the neighbors stated that one of the persons was deceased, but I couldn't find anything to verify that.
Thank you, Mike. Do I have a motion to blight?
I'll move.
Okay, thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and last we have 616 Wayne Street. This is next to another empty lot. The current owners had it since June of 2011. It's a single-family dwelling. The taxes are current, but the water's been off since November of 21. The electric is off. There are notices dating back to December of 19, January of this year, as well as a repair demo order issued this month. There was a fire there, mostly to the upstairs, in November of 21, and those fire damages were never repaired. It still sits abandoned and vacant. The current owner did reach out to me in response to my repair demo order, stating he was trying to sell it, and he had a buyer lined up, and it was to be under contract soon. But I still decided to present it to the committee just in case the sale falls through, and to hold the new owner responsible to bring it up to code to ensure that happens.
Okay, do I have a motion to blight?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second, Aaron.
Aaron? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And those are my properties. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
Second?
Aaron.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank
Thank
you,
you, everyone.
Thank you.